Oh no. I think I got the ugly. Beer, 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 beer. Hello everybody, welcome back to me, Mate Brewski from the Rooski Brewski Review. And today the beer I have for you is by the Henderson Brewing Company in collaboration with Brew. This is the ugly Belgian dark strong ale. Coming in at a whopping 8.4% alcohol by volume. And an unlisted IBU. Which is fine. Oh, I almost dropped that. That's not good. Which is fine. Looking on the website, though, at HendersonBrewing.com, it's coming in at 26 IBU. So, very, very light bitterness. Looking at the can, that's sort of your logo right there. Just a bunch of words. And you got a blackish background with different designs. You got some more information there, and there you go. No real can design. Which is, I guess, fine, but still, would kind of like some separate, at least identifiable can design. And we're pouring it into my Collective Arts IPA glass, because this is the glass I'm using tonight, and I don't really care about glassware and beerware. Sometimes I do, but for the most part, not really one of my concerns. Get a bit of head on there. Wow, I poured a lot of beer in here for 8.4%. Looking at the beer, not too much of a head on there. Definitely off-white, light mocha. Dark beer for sure. People would say brown. I would say deep red. You can always get it in the light what color the beer is, and this is a very, very deep red, sort of blackish reddish color, but very nice indeed. It lived up to its name. It's a dark beer for sure. Let's see how it smells. Does it smell like Belgium? Oh, you betcha. Oh, you betcha. Jetcha betcha. Notes of raisins, dark fruits, plums, grapes, molasses, dark toffee. That smells really, really sweet. Can smell a bit of the booziness in here as well, which is alright by me. Let's have a sip. Oh. That was quite anticlimactic, actually. That was very anticlimactic. Big flavors of, plum, grapes, raisins, very dark fruits for sure, prunes maybe. And then you get a kick of the alcohol, just very slightly, and then it kind of just all goes away into a watery abyss. Very short and sweet flavor profile, at least on that first sip. But that's why I pour more in here and drink more, so we can figure out all the flavors and all the experience in the beer. So cheers, everybody. Let's keep on drinking. Big notes of plum mainly, raisin, a slight grape, prunes, dark fruits for sure, a little molasses, a little dark toffee, and then very, very intense right at the beginning, and then the middle is it weakens quite a bit, and then the end is more of a alcohol bitteriness, or alcohol bite, very light though, and then water. The end is very, very abrupt in this particular beer, which is fine, I guess, to a certain degree, but I was really thinking it was going to be a very long, drawn-out, full, from beginning to finish, just beautiful flavors. And you do get beautiful flavors. They just come in strong and are gone very, very quickly. And you're left with a very light raisin, watery, slightly alcoholic flavor in your mouth. and then some awkward sweetness, watered down sweetness as the very lingering flavor. Mouthfeel is nice though. Very smooth. Very, very smooth. Not super carbonated. Goes down very velvety. Definitely more of a moderate to heavy mouthfeel for sure. And sits in your stomach just a tad heavy. But overall, it's really, really good. It's just that it doesn't last long as far as the flavor goes. And that's where I'm being bugged about this beer. Now with that bit of alcohol bite, you can tell that it is definitely a more alcoholic beer. It is 8.4% after all. But in the same note, it's a very light alcohol. And the rest of the flavors are very sweet. So it could be very dangerous. In the sense that if you buy a few of these and you drink them really, really fast, which you could, because in a sense, this beer, even though it is, has darker notes, darker fruit notes for sure, which can be a bit more, which can make a drinker drink a bit more slowly. The way that this is done, where the flavors come in very quick and end very abruptly, means that you could find yourself getting a little bit buzzed, or a little bit more buzzed than you would want to. Say if the flavor is really held on to your taste buds. But yeah, 8.4%, that's a big boozy bastard. It's not the biggest, but it's still up there for sure. Looking on the can now, so the Ugly Belgian Dark Strong Ale, strong beer, by Henderson's Brewing Company in collaboration with Brew. Very, very nice. 8.4%, 26 IBUs. On the back. So, no, here's the description on the side here. The Ugly. Back in 1978, Toronto's Burgonings, B-U-R-G-E-O-N-I-N-G. Burgoninging, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Punk rock scene was turning the somewhat conservative town on its head. At the forefront of the phenomenon was The Ugly, formed by Sam Ugly and fronted by the now sadly departed Michael Nightmare. The Ugly struggled with gigs, as one of them was often in jail and occasionally took gigs in lesser-known clubs so the cops couldn't find them. It's actually a kind of cool story. To hear the full story, visit our webpage, hendersonbrewing.com/The Ugly. That's pretty cool. Very, very nice. And on the back here, brewed by Henderson's Brewing Company in collaboration with Brewdog from Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Very, very nice. The best beer is the beer you love. Henderson'sBrewing.com. On the bottom, there is a packaged on date, clearly legible. 21st of September, 2018. Very, very nice to see that indeed. But I kind of want to learn a little bit more about the description. And whoa, there's a big one here. Okay. Alright. Let's do this, guys. HendersonBrewing.com. You go to The Ugly, especially, you just type in The Ugly Henderson's Brewing, and it brings you to this page of The Ugly. There's a big description, and we're going to read it, because we have time. To celebrate the launch of The Ugly, we have invited Brewdog to our place for a tap takeover, and they are bringing beers never before tasted in Canada. That was very earlier, but here's a description. Back in 1978, Toronto's Burgoning's punk rock scene was turning this somewhat conservative town on its head. At the forefront of the phenomenon was The Ugly, formed by Sam Ugly and fronted by the now sadly departed Mike Nightmare. A true hooligan, Nightmare notoriously told one of CBC's reporters that if I wasn't in rock and roll, you guys would be lying on the floor right now, and I'd be stealing your wallets. That's fucking hilarious. I like that. This wasn't just talk. Nightmare had done a hard time, and the group had to advertise their shows without showing pictures of themselves. Such was the frontman's relationship with Toronto's finest. In keeping with the genuinely underground ethos, The Ugly took to pirating gigs. This tactic involved showing up unannounced at other shows only to jump on stage to seize the gear between scheduled groups and knock out their own set without bothering to ask permission. Such shenanigans were spectacularly sideways in fall of '77. When the band showed up at a festival they had been barred from, intending to kick the Vile Stones off stage and commandeer their set. After throwing a burning guitar at their rivals, the Ugly managed to play for perhaps a minute before everything collapsed into a righteous brawl between bands, bikers, punks, and fans. That's badass. Frustrated by the lack of headway, the band soon split up without a single release, although further acrimony followed when Nightmare released a 1978 power pop 45 with a new lineup trading under the name. It's a decent single, but far from what had made the outfit their fearsome reputation. A later incarnation of the band with former Dream Dates frontman Greg Dick taking over from Nightmare, R.I.P., was active in recent years, even releasing 45 in a rawer, tougher, earlier tradition. This collaboration with Brewdog is a salute to those lively days when Toronto, the good, lost its innocence in the first local eruption of punk rock. And you can also check out the Ugly's first single in a couple links below. So the style is a Belgian dark strong ale. And also a note, Henderson's collaboration with Brewdog, the original gravity was 19.5 degrees Plato and an ABV of 8.4 and 26 IBUs with an SRM or color of the beer on a 35. The malts that are used are Pilsner, Munich, Aromatic, Special B, Carafara hops, which are Magnum. The yeast is an Abbey Ale yeast, same strain in Rube and Smigton. The extras are a dark Belgian candy syrup. Aromas are stone fruit up front with a spicy note of clove, banana, sugary background, notes of toffee, and treacle. Now I'm getting the clove and the banana. Where was that a while ago? Interesting. Appearance: jet black with red tones, opaque, rich, moussey, light tan head, significant lacing in the glass. Taste of layers of malt flavors with notes of biscuit, dark caramel, and molasses. Spicy note of clove follow. Stone fruit dominated by prunes and dates present as well. No discernible hop bitterness, but it is rich. Mouthfeel is a medium body with a medium-high carbonation. Smooth, slightly prickly on the tongue with a slight alcohol warmth. Finishes dry. Overall impression, a strong malt-forward Belgian ale that finishes dry with deceptively high ABV, and that it is. See, I'm getting way more dark fruits, molasses, caramel, and toffee. Finally, moving over to the Ugly. It's been given a 3.63 bottle caps out of 5, and that's out of 354 ratings. For me, I like the beer. I don't mind it. Wait. Since it's warmed up, the flavor progresses throughout the palate. And you get more of that beautiful flavor that I stated earlier, but in a longer, drawn-out duration. That right here, when it warms up and gets better, that's a great fucking thing. So, cheers on the final sip. Let's get right to ratings. I know what I'm rating this beer. Things to note about the beer first. Don't do what I did in the beginning and pull it right from the fridge and pour yourself a glass. Wait a little bit. Be patient with it. Let it warm up. Because the flavors of the prunes, the dates, the grapes, the plums, all that stuff, the molasses and all that fun goodness goes away when it's very cold very quickly. But once it warms up a little bit, 1 or 2 degrees even, you are in for a treat. And that's why having that last little bit, once it's warmed up a bit. The Ugly has been given a very beautiful scale, or beautiful rating, of 9 out of 10. I'm actually in love. I can't wait to drink the rest of this beer. Speaking of which, I'm going to pour myself a tiny bit more for the video. Beautiful. As for presentation, the can design, well, it's ugly because it's boring. Which I guess makes sense because it's called The Ugly. But nice little description there. Obviously, letting you know that there's a bigger one on the website, and the website does a phenomenal job with a ton of information from description, IBUs, SRMs, malt hops, yeast, all that fun stuff. Great backstory to The Ugly and their band. Presentation, because the can is definitely a little bit ugly, but it matches up with the name. Presentation gets a solid 10 out of 10 because the website is just chock full of information that you would love to read for sure, and that will be in the link down below. So 10 out of 10 for the presentation. Solid beer nonetheless. Cheers, guys. Now that is way better than I first thought it was going to be. Amazing. With all that said, guys, if you have any comments, questions, or beers you want me to review in the future, you can leave all that information down in the comment box below. If you want to go ahead and like this video or subscribe to me, Make Brewski, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. And as for my question of the day, to you is, what beers, or do you usually let beers that are supposed to be served at a certain temperature warm up, or do you get a little impatient and drink them a little bit colder than they should be, or vice versa? Let me know down in the description box below. With all that said, that's going to do it for me, Make Brewski. Like I always say, crack a beer and enjoy. Cheers.